What things should people never Google? Rate of survival when you got cancer. Found out firsthand. Did you survive? So I support schools doing web security for their kids. One call we got was they had been doing an engineering class and they actually asked their kids to image search things longer than 6 inches. Yeah, don't Google that unless you have safe search enabled. I always get a kick out of looking at their keyword block list. Some of the crap middle school kids search for is hilarious. Explain more, please. Mostly lots of terrible misspellings of sexual terms. Penis. How to sex? How to pregnant? Can you get pregante? Am I pregnant? Suggestion: if you're worried about seeing images, use Urban Dictionary. Edit. Thanks for the awards, everyone. This was a brilliant idea, thanks, mate. Today you saved someone from getting PTSD. My first thought was the name of the show you are watching on Netflix, because you get spoilers. Boy, am I an innocent. You are what gives the future hope. Anything related to a crime you're about to commit. I sometimes worry about my search history. I'm genuinely quite a curious person. For example, I read about articles involving some crime or another and then inevitably my curiosity gets the better of me and I end up searching for things related to it. The other day I read about someone in my area who got arrested and then released after being accused of taking photos of school children in public. What he'd actually done was take a photo of a bad driver's number plate, but the photo included school children in the background and somebody on Facebook reported him to the police. This led me to Google, without thinking, is it illegal to take photos of children in public in the UK? If I ever get falsely accused of a crime, there's a fair chance my search history could get used against me. Same. I went down a rabbit hole yesterday and ended up watching videos on how to make meth and chloroform. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I also ended up watching a video on how to make DMT the other day after watching a Vice documentary. That's why privacy on the internet should be protected at a much higher level than today. Inspecting people's behavior on the internet is somehow closer to inspecting people's thoughts than behavior. Sure, you are accountable for some behaviors on the internet. But communication and browsing on the internet should be considered as private as an intrusive thought or some innocent daydreaming. Edit. As this is getting some visibility, let me tell what I do. A humble suggestion: I am sure there is more you can do. 1. You don't need any middleman to access the internet, therefore don't let Facebook feed you with content. Don't use Google as a content provider too. Your browser should not be under the control of anyone, so no Chrome. You just need a piece of software, not another service. Firefox seems fine to me. 3. Emails should be completely private. I use Proton Mail. 4. Protect your connection, ideally all the time, but at least any time you connect to public hotspots, hotels, airports, friends' Wi-Fi. Use a VPN. 5. Maintain a decent hygiene of your computer. No random toolbars, extensions, add-ons. No weird apps. No optimizers. No apps with unreasonable permission requests. The thing is, this stuff not only breaches people's privacy, but it also changes our behavior. Not only do Google saving each and every search you ever did give an unwarranted insight into your thoughts and beliefs, the knowledge that Google does this changes your behavior about what you search for. The primary reasons for the cameras in each person's home in Orwell's 1984 wasn't to catch people doing bad things, it was to force their whole population to work under the assumption that they were always watched, so that they were forced to always act and behave according to Big Brother's wishes. We're slowly approaching something similar happening now. With big tech, people here joke about getting put on watch lists etc. for doing a Google search, but there's also a kernel of truth there. People do to some degree modify their search patterns and actually stay away from searching on certain topics. An obvious example would be child porn, and of course not searching for actual child porn, but searching for certain news or information regarding it. Say you wanted to find some of the scientific studies that showed that child porn being legal for a short duration in certain European countries in the 70s coincided with a reduced number of child sexual abuse in those countries. I'm willing to bet that a fair share of people would feel rather uncomfortable trying to use Google to find information on those studies, just because they know that those search terms would forever be saved and associated with their Google account. People here joke about getting put on watch lists etc. for doing a Google search, but there's also a kernel of truth there. It's more than a kernel. Part of the Snowden leaks, but came out towards the end and as I recall first published in Der Spiegel, so a lot of people missed it, was that simply looking up info about Tor, and OpenVPN, where the darknet lives, and Tails, a Linux distro with Tor access baked in, literally put you on an NSA list. Found some sourcing on this, might not have actually been part of the Snowden cache, but I don't know that the second leaker theory was ever proven. In any event, it's absolutely true that merely searching for information about security software puts you on a watch list. Don't be surprised if that's not the only thing that you could search for that gets you on a list. Web link. How to jaywalk, cool face. FBI. Open up. Wee woo wee woo wee woo wee woo wee woo wee woo. He's just standing there. Menacingly. He's making a break for it. Get him. No. No. I was just picking my nose. He's picking his nose. Get him. Look out, he's got a nose. Snots fired. Officer down. We need more tissues. This. I've heard of more cases being made against a suspect by a simple search of his phone or computer, because he was too unthinking to cover his tracks in advance. Okay Google, remind me to murder Joe tomorrow afternoon. Alexa, add bleach, garbage bags, rubber gloves, a bone saw, and a big-ass knife to my grocery list. Alexia, remind me to murder Joe tomorrow afternoon. I have added 2 fishing rods to your Amazon basket. Serves you right for not knowing her real name. Injuries involving degloving. My daughter, who is an OB/gyne doctor, managed to deglove a finger a couple of years ago by dropping a heavy door on it. Blood everywhere. Everywhere. We rushed her to ER and it got re-gloved. After some more surgery and rehab, she was able to resume her career, including the surgeries that she performs. Jimmy Fallon, I think, had a degloving injury a few years back and it was the first time I heard of it. I think he recovered fine, but after that I quit wearing rings. It wasn't degloved, it was basically that his finger detached from his hand. When the ring got caught, it forced the bones/ligaments/tendons apart, but his skin remained intact, so that finger would have looked normal apart from the fact it would have just hung like a little sack of bones. Not a pleasant injury regardless. ETA, the injury was a ring avulsion, which can involve degloving, but I haven't found anything saying that happened his injury with a quick search, so you may be right. What's worse is I've heard that this kind of injury has happened with spinal injuries, so your head is detached from the spine, flushed face. Fournier gangrene. An NBA player named Evan Fournier was nicknamed Never Google. Edit, don't scroll down if you don't want to see pictures. Case Reports in Emergency Medicine Volume 2012, Article ID 154025. Case Report: Fournier's gangrene due to masturbation in an otherwise healthy male. Pleasant dreams, Reddit. Web link. Here, we report an unusual case of Fournier's gangrene due to excessive masturbation in an otherwise healthy 29-year-old male who presented to the emergency department complaining of 2 days of fever, vomiting, and diffuse myalgia. Upon further questioning, he also endorsed severe scrotal pain and swelling and frequent masturbation with soap as a lubricant, resulting in recurrent penile erythema and minor skin abrasions. Examination of the patient's perineum was consistent with Fournier's gangrene and included significant erythema, edema, and color of the penis and scrotum with a large malodorous eschar. He was given intravenous antibiotics and immunoglobulin and promptly underwent 3 surgical debridement of the scrotum and penis with split-thickness skin grafting. Complications from excessive masturbation are exceedingly rare, but as this case illustrates, they can be life-threatening. Dear Reddit, don't excessively masturbate whereby your scrotum gets painful after doing so. There was this band from Indonesia a few years back. I don't know if they're still around. They're a hardcore punk band, and they're named after a song called Under 18 by a classic NYC hardcore band called Warzone, a song about shows being all ages and generally inclusive. My friend was over at my place and I played them for him. He decided to Google them for more info. He searched under 18 Indonesian hardcore. On my computer. I'm definitely on a list somewhere because of him. What can I say except he should have seen it coming? Somewhat related. I was watching a film called Bound from the directors of The Matrix. It's great, highly recommended. A song plays in the film which I wanted to get a copy. It was by a Chicago lesbian band from the 90s, so pretty obscure, however they called their album. Sex Child. I'm a brave man, but I never typed that one into Google. I think they were trying to be shocking, but they kind of shot themselves in the foot. Bound lesbian sex child band. Cyclopea human. I made the mistake after watching Futurama. One of the characters, Leela, only has one eye. But human cyclopea is a lethal birth defect and not the cool sci-fi stuff I expected. Seriously, do not Google it. How does it look? They don't always get one eye, it's more like only one socket develops and they try to shove both eyes into it. Thanks, now I won't Google it. I did. I regret it. Technically, both sockets form, they just merge. Your face forms from the right and left halves merging towards the midline. Whatever mechanism tell the face to stop fails in this case, so everything just keeps on merging. I read a lot of embryology textbooks. I will read a section thinking I wonder what happens in that step goes wrong. Then you flip the page, and it shows you. Shudders. It's called holoprosencephaly if anyone wants to read about it. Fun fact, it's caused by mutations in a gene named Sonic Hedgehog. Any symptoms you have. Trying to figure out what's wrong with you through Google is the quickest way to freak yourself out. One time I had a terrible headache, and Google told me I had a major brain tumor, brain cancer, and a possible broken/fractured skull. OMG, get well soon. He won't. It's 100% fatal in 0% of cases. Apparently, a mild leg pain can lead to cancer. Especially symptoms of mental illness. I've convinced myself before that I have autism and schizophrenia from reading crap online when in reality I'm just an anxious person. I did the opposite, thought I had anxiety disorder, but now I'm in the process of being diagnosed with Asperger's at 24. Google. If you Google Google, every other person around you will think you are an idiot. If you type Google into Google, you can break the internet. Please, no one try it. Even for a joke. My music teacher would Google Google, then Google YouTube and then search whole sentences worth of content looking for Wikipedia articles. Needless to say, nobody ever corrected her, so our classes were very entertaining, lol. I can hear the snickering now. Then search Google in incognito mode so they don't think you're an idiot. Oh, I have a big list. Run the gauntlet. It's not that bad at first, but it gets bad. Armin Mivas crime scene photos, no. Bryce Williams video, not that bad, but I don't advise. Ed Gein human art, it's not that bad, just disturbing. Shotgun death bath, don't. Abdulia Sanchez live stream video, not that bad, but the situation is disturbing. Gabriel Kuhn and Daniel Petrie, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, I advise reading their story only, don't look at the pictures. Nikki Katsura death photographs, don't. Facial degloving injuries, don't, seriously. Stacy Wilson bus crime photos, pretty bad, don't. Body Farm, it's really not that bad at all, plus it's for scientific purposes. Some of y'all going to Google this, so I even rated which ones isn't that bad and which ones are. Edit, one guy 2 spoons, unpleasant as F. 3 guys 1 hammer, yeah, no. Smile.jpg, just spooky. Man shot on Facebook live leak, this one isn't that bad, and the good news are that the guy survived. Cartel torture, live leak, no, only if you're really into gore. Edit 2, Apollo 1 burned bodies, not much gore, but pretty sad. I wonder how you know all of this, mouthless face. The knowledge of this cost me a couple of viruses on my phone and a week of no sleep. Viruses, you say? Okay, I'm out. Being a teen in the early 2000s, you naturally knew of a few of these. The body farm is the one that's actually fascinating. Plus, the bodies have all been donated to science and are being used for extremely good purposes. Yeah, this is probably the only one from the list that isn't as bad. Run the Gauntlet will give most people depression. I was depressed for a week after watching it. You see real torture in the woods, babies getting run over by trains, horrible crap. Don't go there. In fact, don't go on any of this stuff this guy mentioned. It's not worth it. Edit. I would like to add that animal torture is in there and is one of the biggest signs of a serial killer. I would also like to add that I did say I was depressed for a week, but after 4 years or so I'm still scarred from seeing that stuff. Don't let morbid curiosity control you. I used to eat that crap up. Eventually my head just went stop, I had enough. Then a coworker sent me some sick video after I told him not to. This really pushed me over the edge. I'm just happy I stopped looking at all sick crap, right when those 4K ISIS videos started to pop up. Same here, I used to watch Gorehawk videos just for the hell of it and got to the point where I felt nothing from them. Fast forward to 2019, I got curious and watched the mosque shooting video, and that one broke the camel's back. I felt more depressed than usual, couldn't sleep for several days and couldn't stop thinking about it. It might sound a little dumb, but I even went on Reddit and unsubbed from anything that had negativity or toxicity too often. My mind just couldn't take it for a while. True, very true. In Run the Gauntlet I only did like 2 levels to already understand that I don't want to do this. At this point, I'm trying to stay away from gore as much as I can because crap's effed up. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.